Listen, I get it. You've watched countless YouTube videos at this point on how to make winning ads, with everyone telling you it's just about having a hook that creates curiosity, or just use their ChatGPT prompts and you'll finally have your first winning product. So you let AI write your scripts, maybe even make some of your hook visuals so they stand out, but the results are always the same. No matter what product you test, you're always getting that dreaded 0.2 ROAS staring back into your soul on your Facebook ad dashboard, as every single ad that you thought was going to work just ends up burning money. And believe me, I used to be in the exact same place where all I was looking for was just a shortcut or some quick ad hack because I just wanted to catch a break for once. But one day I decided just to forget all that. And I locked myself in my goon cave to figure out what are the top dropshipping brands actually doing differently in their ads versus me. And after studying thousands of image and video ads for weeks on end, I did not touch a single blade of grass. I realized that all these top ads that are scaling these brands to 6 figures a month didn't have crazy editing or fancy visuals or really anything that the gurus told me was important. In fact, it really just boiled down to they all followed a simple 4-step structure to know exactly who to market to and what messaging would actually get their customers to buy from their store rather than every other dropshipper selling the same exact product. So today, I am going to give you my holy Bible of ads that I call the Core 4 method, which is going to help you create ads that actually convert and scale your brand to $1,000 a day or more. Because if your ads are missing any part of this 4-step method, you can basically just kiss your money goodbye because it's going straight to the Mark Zuckerberg super yacht fund. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'm Ethan Dobbins. You can call me Pookie, you can call me Daddy, but I basically have done over $5.2 million in dropshipping sales, and I have a portfolio of dropshipping brands doing over 7 figures a year. So when we get into this video, if you give me the next 15 minutes of your time, I'm going to make sure it is so worthwhile because you're going to know exactly how to create winning ads and give you the simplest 4-step structure that if you do this to a T, you are going to have a winning ad in the next few product tests for whatever you are doing. So we're going to break down a winning ad and a losing ad for the same product, and then understand what are they doing differently, because it is complete ballparks. It is complete universes differently in terms of the execution of each one of the 4 steps of the Core 4. Now, getting into this, when I typically review ads from customers or just usual dropshippers in my Discord or one-on-one program, I tend to notice when I ask these dropshippers, who's your target audience? They think a target audience is, it's women ages 25 to 55 who have back pain, or in this example, this is an IPL hair laser removal set. So it's women 25 to 55 that are just looking for a way to shave their hoo-ha or just shave their body. And that leads me to my first problem as to why you're always going to have high CPMs and high CPCs if that's what you think at the end of the day your customer is. Because your customer is way more than that. Your customer is not a demographic, which is what you believe a customer avatar is. No, my friend. A real avatar is a psychographic. It is specifically saying to yourself, with my avatar, what is their name? What is their age? What is their situation? Where are they currently at? Where are they working? What's their pain points? What's the benefits? What's the desires? What's the long-term goals? What's the short-term goals? I know that's a lot, but that's the layer of specificity if you are going to actually create ads that convert. Because when your ads are very much, okay, I'm just talking to anyone that's 25 to 55 that works a desk job, there's no way in hell you're going to actually write ads that are specific enough to convert. Your ads are going to sound like everybody else's. And that starts with the foundation, which is that you think you have a demographic, which is your customer avatar, when really you need a psychographic. It should be one specific person. And that leads me to my next rule, the one person rule. If you try to speak to everyone, you're going to speak to no one. So when I'm writing my ads, I really do want to feel like in the hooks, in the benefits, in the transformations, I'm really just talking to that one person. And when I'm writing it down as well. Because when you write to one, that is when you are going to write to many. Because at the end of the day, when someone watches your ad, they should feel like, oh my God, this is tailor-made to me. But when people use generic language and generic benefits and problems, you think, okay, yeah, that's kind of me. But it's not really. It's not as focused. It doesn't really trigger that, I would say, motivation in my brain to actually make a decision and actually change my life. So it needs to be with your messaging that, oh my God, these advertisers actually get me versus, oh my God, this is just the most generic thing. I'm going to keep scrolling because it doesn't really pertain to me. Now, how do we actually do that? Because that's where we get to pain point specificity. With pain point specificity, usually what most dropshippers are going to do is that they'll focus on a surface level pain. So let's actually watch really quickly the hooks of both of these ads, and we'll break that down. So surface level pain, I want you to identify what it is. So let's go in this first one.
Yes, I flash my butthole, and guys should too. Stop fighting your body hair, especially south of the border.
Okay. So surface level pain. I have hairy butthole. Which, hey, I mean, honestly, I do too. But who cares? I mean, women don't care about that. I mean, when I sit down in this chair, it's like I'm sitting on just a bundle of sticks. You hear a crunch every single time. That's how much hair. It's like an Amazon forest in my trousers right now. Who cares anyways? Nobody's going to get up there. But that's the surface level pain point. You have a very hairy butthole, your very hairy area down south. Now, let's watch this ad right here. Same exact product.
Permanent solution for removing unwanted. Need a permanent solution for removing unwanted hair?
Okay. Need a permanent solution for unwanted hair? First off, don't even get me started on the hooks. We'll get into that a little bit later. But when it comes to the surface level pain, it is that you have hair, unwanted hair. Now, the next level of where you actually become specific, and this is what you should be saying. You don't want to say the surface level pain because that's what everyone else is going to do. It's too vanilla. It's too generic. The next layer is what's the deep pain. So when I have this unwanted hair, how do I feel about myself? Why is that not necessary? Well, I feel insecure around my partner. I feel ugly. I don't feel like the best version of myself. I don't feel confident. I just feel kind of rough. Obviously, you'd have to do digging into your audience and the market avatar, but it should be okay. I have unwanted hair. I have a bush in my trousers right now. And honestly, I just feel insecure about it. So that's the third layer. What's the surface level pain? What's the deeper pain from that? And then what's the emotional trigger? What is your audience actually feeling when they have that pain point? Now, I bring up this example a lot, but let's say back pain. Back pain would be the surface level pain for any product that solves that. And then the next layer could be, okay, what's the deep pain? Every time I get out of my chair, I feel a sharp pain in my back. And what's the emotional trigger? I feel frustrated. I feel embarrassed. I feel fearful that this is going to be how I feel the rest of my life. So pain point specificity is realizing, yes, what's the surface level pain? Then go a layer deeper, my friend. That's where you make money. That's where it becomes specific. And then the final layer to this is language mining. This is where you go on Amazon, you go on Reddit, you read TikTok comments, you read ad comments using AdSpy, and you figure out what's the specific language that your customer is communicating these pain points and these desires. And that's what you say. In fact, a lot of times you don't even need to write your own copy. You just reverse engineer and just gather. You're a hunter-gatherer out here. What is the language they are saying for this pain point? That, I want to shave, like a lot of people say, shave south of the border. Well, if that's not what your audience is saying, and they're saying, I wanted to help shave my hoo-ha, I want to shave my dingleberries, then you should be saying that. I know it sounds a little crazy, but that's going to make your ads unique. It's going to make it way more specific and targeted to that one audience. And that's how you want your ads to feel. Now, the next step of this process is a doozy. And it kind of honestly just circles and triangulates based on what we just said. Because after you fix knowing your avatar, it really does boil down to, yes, with your ad copy, with your scripting, on this specific section of outcome, are we as dialed in as we should be? So let's get to the next stage of both of these ads.
And get nude. It's painless permanent hair removal in 8 weeks, or get your money back. Okay. It's an FDA cleared, skin safe, light based technology that you can use literally anywhere hair grows. Waxing hurts, shaving grows back and creates ingrowns, and lasers are too.
Okay. A lot of information there, but very, very specific. Very specific on here's the alternatives you tried and why they suck. They're either expensive, they either bring back ingrown hairs. So yes, regular razors, they hurt, they bring back ingrown hairs. Lasers, too expensive. So we're breaking down very specific pain points that the audience has, which is great. That is exactly what you should be doing. And then in the benefit section, painless in 8 weeks, like fully shaved, painless in 8 weeks or your money back. That's a great guarantee. Now let's see how these people executed that benefit section in the specificity.
Introducing the IPL Epilator Laser Hair Removal. Glide the epilator over your skin. The IPL light pulses to break down hair follicles, preventing future...
Okay, Jesus Christ. What's the problem there? Can you tell me what's the problem with that ad? I feel like Dora. Very good. Swipe or no swiping. Essentially, the messaging is so generic. It feels like a brand. It doesn't feel like a person talking to me. And that's how your copy should feel. It should feel like you're on a FaceTime with that one person. Like, again, if I was talking to one person, if I was on a FaceTime call trying to sell you this and I know you needed it, would I say, introducing the IPL hair removal. It uses technology to It's not how people talk. It's not how people talk. And again, what you're going to notice with a lot of losing ads, a lot of ads that just aren't working whatsoever, is that with their messaging, it's too spread out. Your job with your ad isn't to cram every single benefit and reason why someone would buy into one ad. That's what your product page is for. Your ad is just here to create curiosity and pinpoint one specific idea. That's the next layer of this. Because once you know your avatar, obviously there's a lot of different reasons they could buy. So with this IPL hair removal, it could be to shave your balls. It could be to shave your armpits. It could be to shave your whole body. It could be to shave your back. There's a lot of different areas. But if you mention all of that in one ad, it doesn't work because it's too freaking generic. It confuses your audience. It dilutes the message because someone really realistically, with your customer avatars in most cases, they really just want one thing. And it's your job to focus and figure out what is that one main thing. And that's what you double down. Now, it's good in the beginning to know your avatar and realize, okay, maybe there's 4 key things that they really want. So let me make an ad for each one of those 4 key things. Not one ad that has all 4 because it's too broad. It's too generic again. We talked about this. I don't want to be generic. So when we talk about one core message, what does that really boil down to? So for instance, if I'm selling that back pain massager, what a lot of people will do is that they'll say, this back pain massager will give you pain relief. It'll relieve your pain. It will also help you relax. It'll also give you better sleep. Those are 3 completely different things, different angles, different audiences, if we're really being honest. And that's where you confuse people. So when you're making your ads and you're planning things out, what's the one core idea, the one core benefit to that one avatar at that one awareness level? So in this example with the IPL hair removal, okay, let's say our audience is, in this case, if you also didn't notice, nude, every single person's marketing his product to females and they're being very generic. They specifically said in their hook,
yes, I flash my butthole, and guys.
And guys should too. They're calling out guys actually specifically. So let's say our target audience, in this case, we're going to go with guys between 20 to 40. They've tried razors. They tried all these different things, but they're unhappy with it. It's too expensive. It relieves those razor bumps. It has those gross irritation, blah, 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 blah. So you've done your research. Then from there, with your ad, you should figure out what's that one core thing they want. So it could be, here's why you need to ditch razors for this instead. That's one core message. And then you would break down all the reasons why this is better than a razor. Then you can break down another method. Here's why you should stop doing laser and start using this instead. So again, you can compare it versus other solutions and just do a 1-by-1. Or you can mention the one specific benefit they want. So getting painless hair removal from home. Or, in fact, I think probably the best idea, if we're really being honest, and I get it, I'm all over the place, but the best idea would just be, what's the one thing? And it would be getting your hair completely removed and not having to shave constantly. That's a specific desire that they want. So, in that example, we would just hyper-focus our message on what's that one problem. So, when we go to the next point, which is pain benefit transformation, so pain. My pain is I have to shave every single morning. It's a hassle. I hate doing it. It takes me a few minutes. And a lot of times I'll have razor bumps. That's the one pain. Okay, cool. What's the benefit? So getting a specific outcome. So I have this problem of I'm shaving constantly and I hate doing it. So what's the one outcome? Well, with this IPL hair removal set, you just have to use it once a month and it will completely remove your hair and help stop regrowth so you have to shave less. That's the one key idea. Then the final thing that you communicate in your ad is the transformation. What does it feel like to go from your current state to your dream state? Now, after using this, I don't have to shave every single morning like I used to. My hair grows back much slower down there or down south. I mean, that's how we can be even more specific. If it's down south versus maybe on my face, those are 2 different angles. Those are 2 different messages because it's 2 different desires at the end of the day. But let's say specifically it's for the face. So now I don't have to shave my face every single morning. I don't have to deal with razor bumps or irritation. So you talk about, here's your one problem, here's the one biggest benefit you're going to get, and here's that transformation for you. And then finally, when you're communicating these things, focus on the benefits over features. Features tell, benefits sell. When you're noticing this, when we see this ad right here, they're going to mention the features. Well, it uses advanced technology that nobody gives 2.5 milliseconds of a shit about. And that's how we get the result. Nobody cares. Nobody cares how your product works. They don't. They just care, what does it do for me? So let's review. So you know, don't do this. This is bad.
Glide the epilator over your skin. The IPL light pulses to break down hair follicles, preventing future growth. Enjoy a comfortable, no-pain experience.
It's just, is that what your customer is saying in reviews? Yes, I enjoyed a comfortable, no-pain experience. So bad, bro. It is so bad. It just sounds like it sounds like a company is trying to talk to you, and that's not what your ad should feel like. It should sound like one person is talking directly to you. It should be natural. It should be a conversation. It should use their language. You can just tell they've done zero research, and it hurts. It hurts my soul. Now, the final thing, unique positioning. What does that actually mean? Well, a lot of times when you're selling a product, you're going to notice there's probably one main angle that's really dominating for everyone, and that's fine. With that angle, you need to then narrow it down to a sub angle. So, for instance, with back pain, you're not selling back pain, you're selling back pain specifically for office desk workers. In this example, we're selling hair removal, but it's specifically for dudes with their buttholes instead of for ladies with their whole body. Everyone's being generic and just saying, oh, this is hair removal for ladies and this is no pain experience for, blah, 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 for your whole body. They're hyper targeting their messaging to specifically dudes, which also is a sub niche because the main pocket, everyone's marketing to the females, but they're even narrowing it down more specifically to guys with their buttholes and with hair down there. That is how specific. That is where you get your unique positioning, by sub angling it, finding that sub niche. And I know in a lot of cases, like I had a student who made a ton of money. He scaled to $1,000 a day selling these barefoot shoes. And everyone that was selling these barefoot shoes would just do it to the most generic audience. It'd be like anyone that's an athlete. And then some people would do specifically for rock climbers or people that loved being in the outdoors for hiking. But then he found a different sub-market. He found specifically pickleball players. And then all of his ads were specifically to all the pain points that pickleball players have with their ankles, with their feet being sore, et cetera, et cetera. And this would help strengthen the arch of their feet so they could play pickleball better and have longer games without being tired. So all of his messaging was specifically to one avatar who had one main problem, and then here was the benefits you're going to get from using my product. That's the layer of specificity, and that is how you win. Now, next step, we're going to have to do this rapid fire. I get it. I said 15 minutes. We might go over just a little bit. I'm sorry. I like to give you a lot of value. But when it comes to our next point, you need to make sure after your avatar is dialed and you have the specific messaging that you communicate all this in the right order. Because a lot of times I'll notice people will do problems later on, or they'll do their product intros just way too late, and it loses an audience's attention, or your story is kind of just all over the place. There's no real structure. And when you don't have structure, people aren't really going to know what your product does. They're going to get bored. They're going to get disinterested. They're not going to feel like the ad is for them, and they're not going to buy. So you got to be able to flow someone from one direction to the next. Help them follow a story of not knowing anything about you or your product to knowing exactly, here's your problem, here's why this product matters and what it'll do for you, and here's all the benefits so you buy. So when it comes to our next core 4 method, roadmap, you need a little bit of direction, my friend. So where do you give people direction? This is where you have frameworks. So for me, inside my one-on-one program, we have frameworks for everything because this is one of the key things you have to master. After you do all the key aspects of target audience research and knowing what messaging is going to resonate, you got to know how to format it the right way. Because if you have the wrong orders, like for instance, if you know, all right, I'm going to talk about problems in my ad, then you should probably do problem solution. You need to match your angle to your framework. So of course, when you're doing a specific problem solution ad, that is going to be when you're calling out a specific problem, you're going to agitate it, you're going to prove how the product works, and there's a specific structure to communicate these ideas. Usually in the hook, you're going to mention a problem, then you might aggravate it, and then you'll give the solution of what I tried. So you need to have a batchwork of frameworks and structures that you can follow, and then image ads as well. If you want to do image ads to communicate the benefits, you can do that as well. So for an IPL hair removal set, I can compare it versus a razor, and I can have a strong headline and compare the main selling points of why mine is better compared to others. So when you have these copy and paste templates where you just click on one, then input the language that you learn from your audience by doing the studying, then this makes this whole process of making ads so much easier, so much more likely to convert for you. Now, if you do want access to all my ad templates, we literally have hundreds inside of my program. Plus, we have ChatGPT prompts that will actually do the customer avatar research for you and scrape Reddit, scrape Amazon, do all of that so that you can have your first winning product and actually scale your brand to $1,000 a day or more. Then you can click the first link in the description and you'll get access to all this, plus 5 group coaching calls with yours truly, where I'm going to review your ads, your website, every single little detail so you scale to $1,000 a day. And we're the only program that guarantees you'll hit $1,000 a day. Anyways, enough selling you. When it comes to our next steps, logical flow, matching your angles. So we'd already talked about matching angles. So there's other angles as well. So for instance, if I want to focus on showing a transformation, what angle should I do? Well, what makes the most logical sense would be before and afters, because in that case, in the hook, you can say, here's the before, here's what I was doing, here's what I hated doing, this is the problem I was dealing with. But now I can logically show, here's what life is like afterwards. So you got to realize each framework usually specific towards a specific angle and messaging style that you want to go with. And obviously, like educational, if you want to educate your audience on how a product works and how it's better than the rest, usually a how-to ad makes the most sense for that framework. So you just got to realize you need a bunch of frameworks, and you can study these and get these ideas. If you have a tool like Foreplay, for instance, you can go into the discovery section. You can see what the top brands are doing. You can search by specific niches like beauty, and you can see, yeah, what are the top brands doing? And you can make folders. So as you can see right here, I got all these folders, which I break down. Here's all my problem aggravation ads. Here's all my ads to older demos. Here's all my ads with listicles, etc., etc. This is the bedrock for knowing all your frameworks and having them in one place. And of course, with logical flow, that just basically makes every single clip should lead to the next clip. It should make sense. There should be a flow to things. It shouldn't be all jumbled and all over the place, because then you prevent drop off and you actually have people that understand by the end of your ad everything that they need to know, all the core ideas. So finally, what's the last point? You're thinking, this is all good. I feel like I have a really, really great idea as to what I am missing with all my ads. Well, the next step, after you get all this, is what are the visuals you're going to use? How are you going to communicate that your product actually works? How in the hook are you going to do a pattern interrupt? What is a good pattern interrupt? So when we look at these hooks and these ads right here, which one of them has a better pattern interrupt? Shoving a
yes, I flashed my butthole and got
shoving a razor into a fatty ass, or let's see, what do we have here?
Need a permanent solution for removing unwanted hair?
God, this is so boring. It's just stock clips. So again, it's really about, yes, I know in the intro I said yes, nailing your hook is all. It definitely plays a part in your success. There's no doubt about that. But where you nail your hook is you need to make sure your hook is specific to that one avatar specific hooks. So again, everyone's going to say, and like in this example, tired of back pain, tired of unwanted hair, tired of, they'll say tired of surface level pain. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. How we make it more specific is, okay, tired of back pain. How about tired of popping ibuprofen every single morning just to feel like yourself? It's being more specific on what their actual situation is. Okay, benefit, transformation. Do you want to have this? Want hair-free skin? Or do you want to never have to shave your face ever again? Or do you want to never have to deal with annoying razor bumps when you shave every single morning? It's being more specific, because specificity is what's going to trigger in your target customer's brain, oh my God, this is for me. I need to stop my scroll because that's exactly what I wanted. And you're using the language that they would use to describe whatever the benefit is or whatever the problem is they're dealing with. Those are two ways that you pattern interrupt. Either you say some bold contrarian statement, like, you never have to shave your face ever again if you start doing this. Holy shit, I'm interested. Or your woman doesn't like the bush you have down south, like something along those lines. Like just making them be like, holy shit, oh, wait, what? Like calling something out specifically. Like your woman won't tell you this, but she hates that bush you have down south. And then, okay, now I'm interested. Now you got my curiosity. So that's the next step. And then, of course, visuals. Visuals are just what's the best, most engaging way you can showcase either that problem or benefit. It's got to make sure to be congruent with what you're saying. So in this case, yes, literally it's shaving buttholes, and they have a visual about shaving buttholes. And then, okay, in this one, are you tired of unwanted hair? Need a permanent solution for removing unwanted hair? It's just so boring. It's so boring. It's so generic. It's so vanilla. I hate it. So again, you start with having the right script that's actually specific. Then you find what is the biggest pattern interrupt visual. So I know, for instance, I had a product that I was selling. It was basically these binoculars that were perfect for seeing in the dark. So it was great for hunters. It was great for people that want to protect their property. There's a lot of different customer avatars. So specifically when it came to the audience of protecting their property, in the hook, I called out like a specific thing. And in the visual, I had this visual of like a creepypasta of sorts, where it was a video of in the dark, this just random, almost mystical creature. It was like a wolf on someone's property, and it was terrifying because that is going to stop the scroll. And it's a pattern interrupt. You don't see that every day. If people are seeing the same visual of, oh, this is someone shaving, this is someone waxing, they've seen it a million times. You're not going to get anyone's attention. But are people seeing every day someone shaving a razor or putting a razor up someone's ass? Definitely not. It's a pattern interrupt. Now, the final thing visually that you have to do is you have to make people believe your product works. Because you can say all the right benefits, you can say all the right pain points, but if people fundamentally don't believe your product works, it's not going to work. So how do you do that? Through social proof, strategic social proof. Because you have to think logically, if I am my target audience, what do I need to see to make me come to the conclusion that I need that product? So for instance, I sold a pheromone perfume product a while back. And in the visuals, I would say, or I would show specifically that when someone puts this on, they would go out on a night out and they would get hit on because that was the target desire. Instead of telling people this is going to help you attract your dream partner, I showed them this was going to attract your dream partner because I planned out and I knew in my head, this is what they needed to see. I don't even need to tell them what the product does. I'm going to show them. So with this product, if I show someone who obviously has a very hairy area down south or whatever it is, then I'm going to show a visual of someone using it and boom, you see the after. Before and after is the way that you would show without any shadow of a doubt that this product works. It leaves no conclusion. You can't argue the results. So you have to figure out what's the visual, what's the social proof someone needs to see to actually believe your product works. What's that demonstration they need to see? And obviously, if you're selling something like a supplement, you'd be saying, okay, well, someone's going to say this helps them get more energy. How do I actually show that? It's very difficult to do that. So in those cases, you need to have a good testimonial. Ideally from an actual person reviewing the product and saying, wow, once I tried this, I got X, Y, and Z benefit. And it's very relatable. Not that I got 25% more energy. It's like, oh my God, I actually feel like myself again. Because that's the real target desire at the end of the day. I can finally work at my desk and focus for once instead of constantly being distracted on my phone every 30 minutes. Specificity through the right testimonials on the target desires is where you would show the right social proof. So if you marry all these core 4 things down and you focus on these principles when you are making your ad step by step with your customer, the outcome, the roadmap, and the engagement, you are going to get a winning ad, my friend. Now, if you do want help with any of this process, for instance, like I said, we already have an ad scripting GPT that will write out your whole script for you. And it's essentially like having me write your script. And of course, all of the resources that I use to scale my brand over 6 figures a month consistently. If you do want access to this, so you can just shortcut this, know exactly how we do it, and have me helping you and coaching you through the execution, because this is a process. You need reps. You need to also be getting feedback from someone who knows this process down pat. And I've been doing it for 7 years. Then click the first link in the description, book a call, and I cannot wait to work with you soon.